So to all the Sword and Shield lovers out there, which set do you think was the best performer in January of 2025? This video is just a bit of a market update, guys, to see how all the Sword and Shield sets performed in January this year. Now, 1 month is only a very short time frame. Obviously, as sealed investors, we're in the hobby for years and years. But it's cool to just check out how they're performing sometimes month to month. Every now and again, shine the spotlight on the sets. This video is every single Sword and Shield set, not just the booster box sets, but also the ETB sets. From weakest to strongest growth in January 2025. Let's just rock and roll and get straight into it. Well, no surprises here. Rebel Clash, the last on this list and the weakest performer for the month of January. Up 1.7%. Woohoo! Up $4 in the month of January 2025. Now, if you do own this set, don't get offended. If you want to hold on to it, by all means, go for it. Long term, all these sets are going to go up at one way or another in price. I just don't think this is going to go up quick enough. It's not compelling enough for me. I don't own any Rebel Clash. Obviously, the ETB is an outlier. For some reason, it costs an absolute fortune for what's in it. There's no hits in this set, really. The Rebel Clash ETB is just one of those anomalies in the hobby that's quite expensive. But the booster box up, basically, what did I say, 1.7% for January. Let's keep moving. Fusion Strike, god damn, the second worst performer for January. Can you believe that? 6.87%. Call it 6%, 7% for the month of January, 7% growth. But you know what, guys? I'm not knocking Fusion Strike. I think this is a really good pickup, and basically long term, this thing's going to continue to shoot the lights out. The fact that it's only up 7% in the month of January doesn't mean a lot. 1 month on a long-term time horizon as an investor is a nothing burger. We know Fusion Strike boomed, Lost Origin boomed. There was a bunch of booster boxes that took off recently. They're just retracing a little bit, some of these. So if they're low on the list for the month of January, it doesn't mean a lot, right? Let's be honest, it doesn't mean much. Still an incredibly good set. But just, hey, for the month of January, just for this video, for this market watch, in January, it didn't do too good. But that's okay because it's done astounding prior to January. The third weakest set, Sword and Shield base. I don't own any Sword and Shield base, guys. This booster box is now $360, up 8.8% for the month of January, and is the third weakest performer for the month of January. Again, guys, please, I don't want to have to keep saying it. Take this list with a grain of salt. It's just 1 month. It's just a market watch. That's it. If you own some of these products, you might be keen to see how they're performing just of late. Celebrations up 9%, 8.97, call it 9%. This is the ETB. Obviously, there's no booster box. With the holiday sets, guys, I'm not going to talk about Pokemon Center ETBs. I'm not going to talk about UPCs. Obviously, Celebrations has an ultra premium collection, which is a really cool investment in my opinion because of the gold medal cards in it and so on. But not to get off track, guys. When it comes to the holiday sets, I'm just going to show you the performance of the ETB. Just because where there's no booster box, ETBs are the most standard and common way to buy product, right? So I'm just going to stick to ETBs in the specialty sets, the holiday sets. And this is the worst performer. This is now $114 US, up, like I said, 9% for the month of January. Now there's a ton of investors that own Celebrations ETBs. I have the UPCs. I don't have the ETBs myself. I just think there are better ETB plays out there. I did a video a number of months back, the top 5 Elite Trainer boxes in my opinion to invest in. This didn't make the list. That was a little bit upsetting to some people that do own this as an investment. And look, it's not the worst, and it is a cool display piece, and any of the Celebrations products are pretty cool. Again, it's not a compelling investment for me, this ETB. However, I do like the UPCs. This is up 9% on the month and is the 4th weakest performer for the month of January. There's another 12 to get through, so let's just keep moving. Vivid Voltage, just edging out Celebrations. Obviously a booster box set, so it's hard to compare to an ETB set. But up 10%, 10.5% for the month of January. $174 now for this Vivid Voltage booster box. Vivid Voltage is not the worst investment. To me, it's just some of these are just not compelling enough, guys. I like to focus on the top tier and then the mid tier sets, and I think Vivid Voltage is, it's almost mid tier, but to me, it's not good enough. If you own it, that's fine. A lot of investors are chasing Vivid Voltage right now because it is one of the cheapest Sword and Shield booster boxes, and all Sword and Shield is going to go bananas. So I'm not saying it's a terrible investment. It's just not for me, and that's the 5th worst performer on this list. There's 16 all up, guys. 16 sets from Sword and Shield. Next is Silver Tempest. I do own a little bit of Silver Tempest, not a lot. Again, to me, it was never a strong enough set, though I do love that Lugia. I really love the Lugia in this set. I do own some Silver Tempest. I just don't have a big position. This thing's up 12% for the month. It did hit a high of 245 a couple of weeks ago, and it's retraced down sort of $12 off there. 230 now, guys. 235 for the Silver Tempest booster box. Let's keep moving. There's a bit to get through. Lost Origin up 14% for the month of January. This is only 1 month again, guys. Not to sound like a broken record, but this is only 1 month, just January. So it's just not enough to gauge overall how these sets are. Lost Origin is one of the top 5 sets, or one of the top 4 sets from the Sword and Shield era. It's now $357 for a booster box. It did hit $388. This is one of the ones like Fusion Strike that went for a massive run recently. I think it was around December, if I'm not mistaken. It went for a massive run. It's just retracing a little bit. It's just cooling off a little bit. Still a really strong set to invest in at the right price. If you can find ETBs or build battle stadiums that are potentially better value than a booster box, maybe grab those. But just try and get Lost Origin still in the most affordable way you can, in my opinion. I'm still accumulating this, even though it's one of my heaviest positions. But, you know, I like Lost Origin. I don't want to ramble on too much. That is up 14% for the month of January, and I think it's got a really strong future in front of it still. Darkness Ablaze, beating Lost Origin, beating Fusion Strike, just for the month of January. Don't get too excited, you Darkness Ablaze lovers. To me, this is a junk set. It's not worth investing in. However, it's up 16% for the month of January, and it's now cracked the $200 US mark. So Darkness Ablaze is on the rise, and it's quite far along this list for growth in January. So there you go. You should be happy if you own it, I guess. Up 18% Pokemon Go for the month of January. Now, this is another set that everyone just threw under the bus. It's a throwaway set. I'll give you this, right? The chase cards in Pokemon Go are not that expensive. I haven't looked at them lately, to be honest. But they're not that expensive. This is not a top tier set. I'll be the first to say it. There's a happy medium sometimes between investing and having fun. Remember to have fun in this hobby. It's all about fun as well as investing. This is a fun set to open. If any of you guys watching have kids, guys or girls have kids, nephews, nieces, or kids of your own that like Pokemon, this is a fun set to just crack open. And for that reason, I think more and more of it will get open. People aren't scared to open cheap products because there's no fear that they're tearing open something expensive. And this will continue to get open. A ton of this is selling right now. Pokemon Go is one of the best sellers right now on TCG Player. Can you believe that? And everyone hated this for years. I thought it was fun to open. I think it's a cool set. I love Mewtwo. It makes a nice display piece. Is it the strongest investment? No. I'm not saying it will be. I'm not saying it's going to shoot the lights out. But I think there's a place for it in every collector's, you know, for every collector, for every investor. I don't think it's going to make you rich, but it's up 18% for the month of January, and it's getting sort of toward the top half of this list, guys. I can't remember how far we are along now. Like I said, there's 16. That's like the 7th or 8th or something. Pokemon Go, love it or hate it, it's starting to do okay. And I think it's just a fun set. I think it's a fun set. Battle Stars up 19% for the month of January. This is another set that everyone threw under the bus. Again, I don't think it's a crazy good investment. I don't think it's going to be one of the top tier sets from Sword and Shield, not by a long shot. I like Battle Stars. It's up 19% for January. It's one of the cheapest Sword and Shield booster boxes you can get. And I don't put it down there with Rebel Clash, Darkness Ablaze, and Sword and Shield base. Those 3 sets, I'm not touching. I have zero interest in. Battle Stars to me is a mid-tier set. The lower end of the mid-tier sets. For example, the mid-tier sets, I would say Astral Radiance, Brilliant Stars, and Silver Tempest and Battle Stars. Those 4 sets, to me, are mid-tier sets. Battle Stars, I think, is at the lower end of that. But still a good pickup, still a cheap booster box, and I think it's going to do better than most people think. And it's funny now, a lot of investors I've heard lately are picking this up right now. It's funny because I've been saying for the last year that I like it, and I've been accumulating Battle Stars. But there you go, it's doing all right now. Shining Fates up 19% as well, the ETB. This was printed into oblivion. We all know this thing was printed into the ground. There is so much of this around. This is another one that I think is reasonably fun to open, not as fun as Pokemon Go. And it's worth having one or two of these in your collection. I think it's going to be a long time before you see any real crazy growth on these. I don't think you're going to make a ton of money, but they're not bad to have one or two, guys. There is a chance that the Charizard's sitting inside one of these if you have it in your collection, and people are going to be always wanting to chase that Charizard at one point or another. It's just a cool display piece if you're a collector, you know. Chilling Reign up 20%. This is now $340, guys. A month ago, $284, so it's doing quite well. Chilling Reign is a top four Sword and Shield set in my opinion. Behind Evolving Skies, I go Fusion Strike, Lost Origin, Chilling Reign are the next best three. Put them in whatever order you want. I think Chilling Reign is still too cheap, in my opinion, and I'm still accumulating Chilling Reign products. I'll say that much. Astral Radiance up 20%. What was Chilling Reign? 20% as well. Astral Radiance also up 21%. You can see that graph there. It's climbing nicely. A month ago it was 195, now 236. Let me just check if we can see it. No, can't see any more data. TCG Player plays up so much with that. When I try and click on view more data, sometimes it just doesn't show the results. But anyway, it is what it is, guys. Thanks, TCG Player. I love you for that. Thank you so much. $236, 21% growth. Astral Radiance, really good set. I think it's a mid-tier set, but it's really starting to climb now. And I also am picking up ancillary products, not necessarily the booster box. For Astral Radiance, I'm looking for value where I can find it. Good set, great training gallery, and I love the Machamp in Astral Radiance. Brilliant Stars up 22% for the month of January. Will this thing show me any more data? No. Having a good day with TCG Player. Okay, 287 for the Brilliant Stars booster box, up 22%. Brilliant Stars has recently come on my radar. I always liked the cards in this set. I didn't take a big position in this set. I was parking my money in other sets I thought were stronger. The top chase cards in Brilliant Stars are really moving now. A lot of cards are in a lot of sets, but Brilliant Stars in particular is really moving. I think Brilliant Stars is a good set to pick up. Get the booster packs the cheapest way you can if you're interested. Build and Battle Stadiums at the right price are also a good pickup. Maybe not the booster box for this set, even though the booster box is a premium product. Whatever you guys want to do, just start paying attention to Brilliant Stars. I think it's got a really big short-term future. I think this thing's about to go off the charts. But anyway, that's my opinion. Evolving Sky is the second best performer for the month of January. Not the best, the second best. Up 36%. We're just talking about 1 month. 4 weeks, guys. 4 weeks, this thing's up 36%. We know that this thing has been performing since its inception. This thing is the absolute king from Sword and Shield, Evolving Skies. But still, as expensive as it looks on the surface, it's still up 37% in 1 damn month. My opinion on Evolving Skies, I've heard some people say they think it's going to get to kind of a point and then start to plateau. I don't think so. I think this is a stronger set than Team Up. I think this is a better set than Team Up from the Sun and Moon era. I think Evolving Skies is just moving through these price ranges like wildfire on its way to something great. To me, this is a $5,000 booster box in the next 3-4 years, guys. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I'll go out on a limb for that one. I think, as crazy as it sounds, this is going to be a $5,000 booster box, in my opinion, in the next 3 or 4 years. If it takes 5 years, big deal. It's heading there. In my opinion, it's heading there. This is not going to get to like 2,000 and then plateau for long at all, if at all. This thing's it's going somewhere, right? It's still a good pickup. To me, Evolving Skies is still one of the most undervalued sets, as expensive as that booster box looks, right? I'm not saying to go and get it. If you can't afford it, don't touch it. It's a very expensive product to buy, you know. Not expensive in terms of overvalued, but just, you know, it's expensive for a lot of people to buy that, spend that sort of money in this hobby, especially if you're new to the hobby. But the absolute king of Sword and Shield, but the second best for January. Crown Zenith, number 1, baby. Crown Zenith, the holiday set. The last set Sword and Shield ever printed, Crown Zenith. They printed this into oblivion, but they could not stop the force that is Crown Zenith. This thing is a monster of a set. Everyone loves it. This thing hit perfectly the happy medium between the investor and the collector that likes to have fun and rip packets. This thing hit it perfectly. We opened so much Crown Zenith. We never got any of those big gold cards, as many packs as we opened. We opened hundreds of packets of Crown Zenith. And I don't have nearly enough left in my sealed investments, actually, because of that, because we had too much fun. Get Crown Zenith however you can, guys. It's cracked the $100 mark, and it's up 38% for the month of January, just edging out Evolving Skies for the month of January so far as percentage growth. It is a monster of a set. It's fun to open. It's an awesome set. It's getting hard to pick up now. It's getting pricey, but I mean, if you can find any Crown Zenith anywhere, whether it's the tins or the premium collections or whatever you can get, I think it's still got a great future in front of it. It's a solid set. The top 10 chase cards in this, I'm pretty sure are worth well over $700, which is really strong for a set. And that's it, guys. That's the top 16 sets. Well, that's all 16 sets from the Sword and Shield era. Weakest growth in January to strongest growth in January. Do you own any of these? Are you looking to cube? Let me know which ones you're looking to pick up at the moment. Which ones do you think are ready to take off? Which ones do you think are maybe undervalued? Which ones do you think are just a good pickup that you're interested in? Let me know in the comments, guys. Thanks for watching the chase card, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye, everyone.